Does this sound familiar? You have a super cool melody and absolutely gorgeous riff that comes with it, but the lead sound, it's just weak? Well, stay tuned, because today your life is about to change. Hey guys, what's up? I'm ReOrder, I'm a trance music producer, and today I'm gonna show you how to make a proper lead stack, or how to layer your leads in a way that is absolutely professional, that you can use in your tracks right away. What are we actually going to be doing today? Let's have a listen. If you're wondering how I made this riff, check this video. So we have a Vital here. I will just import the melody from my last MIDI pack that you can actually download for free on my Patreon. So how are we gonna start? I'm gonna load in some presets here from the bank that I'm actually working on right now, and we're gonna load in the best saw. This is how it sounds. You can actually filter it down. So that's what we're going to be using. In order to make a lead stack, you want to have few different types of leads. You have the main lead that is doing the whole stereo field thing, like this one. Then you're going to need a lead that sort of gives the whole thing a color, something that is maybe detuned or very prominent. It's just like one saw and there's a little bit of movement in the pitch. And also you're going to need like some support leads, you know, something that's just going to make it stand out a little bit more. I used to use like 7 leads in a stack, and for my remix of Lonely For You for Armin van Buuren, there's actually 8 leads, just to get that sound right that I was going for. So we have the first lead. Now how do I make a stack in Ableton? Well, basically I can right click here and I can click on group. So now I have a group. Now get inside a group, I'm gonna click here, and now I can just create chain, or I can just basically duplicate this Vital. So what I'm gonna go for is look for that lead that has the color that I'm looking for. I actually prepared this little one here, just call it Energy. It's absolutely gorgeous. We're gonna start. So now we have these two, and you can hear how they play together. So they sort of like complement each other. Like the Energy one is giving this a little bit more low mids, you know, and it's pretty nice. But we're not gonna stop there. We're gonna import an equalizer to each of them. Let's put one here, and then we're gonna put one here. So what we wanna do now is they play together. We want to emphasize what we like the best about these leads. I'm gonna start with the first one. I'm gonna solo it because that's my best main lead. And I'm just gonna color it up to my taste, to my liking, how I do like it. Want to know how to make melodies like this in less than 5 minutes? Check this video. There is another way how you can find like where it sounds good, and it's a little trick I've been using a lot. You can click this little Audition mode here on this. It looks like headphones, and when you click on something, it's gonna only play that frequency. And this way you can find the frequencies that you actually like in the lead. It's really helpful in also other sounds. Like if there's a frequency that you love, you can boost it up. If there's a frequency you hate, you can actually put it down. So how about we just look for that frequency that sounds ugly? I think here it's like a little bit distorted. So what I'm gonna do over here, since I already boosted it up, at 400 I didn't like it and below. So maybe at like 350. I'm gonna go and add a little dip. Let's see how it's gonna sound when I dip it down. You can hear that resonance there. Yay. So it now does exactly what I needed. So that's the first one. Now I'm gonna turn on the other one, and I'm gonna play it together with the best lead. Why? Because I want to hear them together, and I'm looking for those sweet spots when they really complement each other and give each other that energy that I'm looking for. Oh guys, if you're still watching and you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment to what you think about it. I think this one is a little bit too loud, so I'm gonna decrease it by 1 dB. Beautiful, so I have that color from the energy lead and the best lead on top. Now, as I said, we maybe want to add something more. What is that we want to add? It's something that will fill out the rest of the spectrum and just make it a little bit more, epic. So I'm gonna add another instance of Vital, and we'll be looking for, let's try this one. It's called Detuned Saw, and let's see how this one sounds on its own. And you can hear that this one is already 1 octave higher, and that's what I wanted to do with it. Now, one thing, I think it could have a little bit longer tail. Now let's play them together. Let's put it down. And now I can hear there's a lot of low mids coming through this frequency. If I solo it, you can hear it on its own. It's pretty ugly. It's right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna decrease it there. So let's pull it down a little. Let's listen to all of the leads together and then pull it down. And now let's see where we actually like the sound. Maybe turn it down a little bit more. That's pretty cool. So now we have the lead stack, but it's not quite ready. One thing that is actually now missing is something that will give this whole thing a little bit more low mid feel. So when it plays in your track, it's just gonna sound great. So you don't have to add 100 mid basses, and you just have only the sub bass and maybe 1 mid, or maybe none, just 1 bass. And now we're just gonna add 1 more. Let's add Vital. I can just duplicate this. And this one is gonna be a Pluck. This is how I like to use these. We're gonna add a Pluck. So let's look for something nice in Vital, and we don't need this EQ right now. And let's look for a Pluck. I'm just gonna add it by name. This is actually from my bank that I did together with Meyer. And actually you can get it on readyformasterclass.com, I forgot to mention. We have so many to choose from, I'm probably gonna go for Sky Patrol. Now let's play them all together, and let's see how it sounds without and with. So you can hear it, it's like the sound was super thin, and then it just beefed up. It sounds pretty cool, and I just really love it. So again, we're just gonna play with the EQ over here. And we can put it 1 dB down maybe. So the lead stack is ready, but we are not finished yet. We need to glue all these leads together because now they're all playing the same thing. Also, we are clipping. So what I'm gonna do here now is just take this whole thing and put it -3 dB down. So now we have this and no clipping. I'm happy with it. I don't want to use any limiters and anything. Just like the raw, nice sound of the leads. Next up, what are we gonna need? We're gonna be using this little beautiful plugin called Buster SE. It's a free plugin, and it's basically an SSL glue compressor, and it emulates the same thing as you can get from SSL. I want to give you a free option so you can actually use it. Now, how do I do this? The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna glue them together a little bit. What I'm gonna do first is to put the ATSAC to about 10 milliseconds and the release to automatic. Also put the ratio to 4. And what we want to do now is to take this threshold down until we see maybe 1 or 2 dB movement here. So you can hear it's a little different, but it just glues them all together, so it feels much, much nicer. Next up, I'm gonna come into all those vitals in here, into the effects, and I'm gonna turn off the reverbs. Why I'm doing this is a great tip that I probably should mention before. When you have different reverbs on different synths, they might feel very disconnected from the space that you are actually placing them in. You know, the reverb plugin basically works, it plays things in space either further away from you or closer to you. So if you have different kinds of reverb settings, like with different feedbacks, with different mixes, with different EQs and the spreads and all, it might actually make your sound feel very disconnected and sometimes even like dissonant. So try to use one reverb on your leads so they all sound like they're coming from the same space. So now I'm just trying to turn it all off here in all of these effects, so we just can use one reverb for everything. By the way guys, this doesn't have to be your only lead stack in your arsenal. I actually created 10 different lead stacks for 10 different scenarios for trance music, which you can use right away. If you're using FL Studio, Ableton Live, Logic Pro X or Bitwig, these are ready for you on readyformasterclass.com. You can check the link in the description. I really believe this is going to help you turn your tracks into amazing pieces. Every purchase helps this channel grow so I can bring you more content in the future. So thank you very much. Love you guys. So let's look for a reverb. I think Valhalla Supermassive will be one of the best options since it's a free option. What we're gonna do, we're gonna come over here to reverbs and large, and we're gonna go for Ice Flow, Nowhere to Go. I think this is a great preset for reverb for trance music. We just need to make a couple of changes. First, we're gonna put the feedback all the way down, add some low cut over here, and decrease the mix by about 30%. Let's have a play. Maybe we can increase the high cut just a little bit. Next, we're gonna take the Buster SE one more time over here. And what we're gonna do now, it's a little bit different. We're gonna change the release to 0.1 milliseconds with the same ratio. So now what's gonna happen is, when it hears the transient, it's gonna immediately pull down the volume of the reverb. So it's gonna make the track feel much fuller on the tail while keeping the transient up. So let's see what's gonna do. I can actually increase the volume so we can hear the same. So you can hear it. It just makes the tail super long. Maybe we can like now decrease the mix a little bit. Now, the last thing. We need to do a final EQ. This is a little bit of a different approach than many people have. I like to do something which is called mid-side processing or mono and stereo. So here on the mix, you actually have so many EQs that have this. So what are we gonna do first? We're gonna cut out the low end here on the mids. Then, what I always like to do is on a 13,500 Hertz, I like to actually pop this up a little bit. So about 1 dB up. So let's find it and let's go 1 dB up. And we want to have this like really narrow, something like this. Now the next step, I'm just gonna play around and find those beautiful frequencies. Remember how we do it? I'm just gonna listen right here. Oh, I love that here. Now let's go to the side channel. Over here, what I love to do is just to lift up the high end so we have it a little bit more wide, which is gonna go for the high shelf. And maybe we can increase around 400 Hertz here. And then here on the sides, I'm actually thinking here on the mids, just boost up this other frequency here. But let's go with number 5 and just go up here. And we're gonna do this. Yeah, so you have a nice curve. If you listen to it, just add this nice sparkle on top. So how would it all sound if we turn this all off? I'm gonna keep the reverb first. Now, to finish it all off, we're gonna need an extra EQ, something that's just gonna boost it to the nicest way possible. I'm gonna be using the Mag EQ, but you can also use the SSL EQ, or you can use the Lufiticus VST, which is actually a free version of similar product. I'm gonna leave all the links for these plugins in the description so you can actually download them pretty fast. Okay, let's add the Mag EQ, and now let's have a listen to what we can do. Basically, what we want to do is to boost this little bit of a low mid, little bit of the highs, mid, some high end, and maybe this. Be careful with this. Don't go too overboard. Half dB goes really a long way. Let's have a listen. Pretty cool, huh? As you can see, we just boosted low mids and all. So now we have the sound when everything is on. But there is one last thing we need to do. Well, going through all the plugins and automating all the, filters and everything would be an overkill. So what do we want to do now? We come inside every vital and we're gonna click on this little button here and click configure. Whatever you touch is gonna appear here. So I'm gonna click on the filter. Same thing here with this vital. Then over here, we're gonna do the same. And here in the Pluck. Okay, let's click on that. Done. So now I can close all of these vitals. I don't need them anymore. And what I'm going to do now is hit this little show hide macro controls. And I'm going to assign all of these macros to macro 1. Right click, assign to macro 1. Then we're going to go to the next one, to macro 1. Same over here. And same over here, add to macro 1. Now, each of these will behave differently because they are mapped to 0 to 100%. So I'm going to click on the map button here. And I know that this Pluck was actually going down to about 80%. And let's hear how they will sound one by one if we need to do any modifications. Let's start with the first one. Like that. Let's try the other one. That's pretty okay. Next one. Also happy. And now the last one. That's a pretty too low, so maybe we can actually open it up. So let's go to the mapping and let's pull it up. Now I'm pretty happy. So now they should be mapped accordingly. Let's see if this one, when it's fully open, actually sounds the way we want it to sound. That's maybe too much. Like that. Alright, so now it's everything successfully mapped, and we can now automate this little knob. And let's have a listen to what we did today. And that's all for this week's video. I hope you like it, guys. If so, please let me know what you think about it in the comments and give it a like. This really helps to push this video to other trance producers out there. And don't forget that you can subscribe if you want to. And that's really it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again for the next one. Ciao. Oh guys, if you're still watching, check the link right there, I think it's there, and get over to my Patreon where you can actually download this project for free for Ableton, Bitwig, FL Studio and Logic Pro X. You can just start using this tech right away for your next hit. Thanks for watching. See ya.